Hey guys, this is Dio and I'm here for Virtual Nigeria, and the major reason why we're talking to you today is to keep you prepared, get you ahead before you come into class with us. This is a little video to get you, familiar with the whole idea of Linux and open source before actually walking into class. So let's quickly talk about open source. What is open source? I know that many of you, when you hear open source, the first thing you think is free software. Yes, that might be true, but we need to understand every angle to it. So because our standard of training here is such that if you can't explain it to a 5-year-old, then you probably don't know it yourself. So I'm going to make sure I break this really down. It doesn't matter if you've not been a Linux administrator before now, or if you knew nothing about open source, this is the right place to start. So what is open source? I will use a very popular example that my trainees know me by. Before I move further, let me just quickly introduce myself a little bit more. I'm a rather certified system administrator, rather certified engineer, rather certified instructor, rather certified examiner, and there's just one examiner in West Africa as it is. So obviously whatever I'm talking to you about today, you can take it as law. So what is open source? Let's use a great example. Let's assume the Nigerian government would direct the military to build or to cook some heap of rice, white rice, and have that in the middle of Nigeria, that be somewhere in Abuja, and say that this white rice can be eaten by everybody. You can come there and take it for free. But then if you're not going to eat the white rice, whatever you make with the white rice, that's the derivative of the white rice, has to be given out for free as well. So that means that it now makes sense for Mr. Biggs to leave Lagos and go to Abuja and take this white rice if they want to make jollof rice as part of their menu. And then they can start from white rice and then make some jollof out of it and then put it out at their eatery, which has to be out there for free. If eatery 2 wants to make jollof rice and chicken, it doesn't make any sense. IT nowadays, with the help of open source, it doesn't make any sense to go all the way and go and start cooking your rice from the scratch again. 1. 2, it doesn't make any sense to go all the way to Abuja to scoop some white rice. You might just want to step into Mr. Biggs, who has gone and they have gotten the white rice, they've made it into jollof rice and they have it in their eatery available for free. So you can go in there, take this jollof rice and just add your chicken to it in your eatery and make it jollof rice and chicken. If eatery 3 wants to sell the same jollof rice and chicken that eatery 2 is selling, they just need to go to eatery 2 and take it and just rename it to eatery 3. That's how interesting open source is. Another part of open source makes it clear that all of the projects, look at this white rice that was cooked, for example, everybody comes together to cook the white rice. They don't leave it to the cooks alone. You have the military, the doctors, the engineers, the students, the athletes, everybody comes together to cook this white rice. And the most interesting part of this is even the end user, that's the guys who all they contribute is to eat the rice, they're also a part of the cooking. So they will just sit down and say, this is how I like my rice to taste. In the world of IT nowadays, nobody likes to use a product that you don't have an influence over how the product is being built. Many proprietary software companies just put out certain softwares predetermining how customers will use this software. So they put out that software in a way that you can't use it in any other way apart from the way that they have designed for you to use it. But open source, you have access to the source code. That rice, for example, you have the whole recipe and everything. You can do whatever you want with it. So with open source, you can actually wrap the product around your business, not the other way around, that you have to wrap your business around the product, right? Now, I'm sure you might be asking, so how do we make money? How do the open source companies make money since they put out all of these softwares for free? Now I'll tell you. Now, if Mr. Biggs puts out that rice for free, eatery 2 puts it out for free, the way they will make money is if a big telecoms company now subscribes to their services and says, look, come and serve our members of staff your rice. And then members of staff, they're finding it very hard to eat this rice. They don't know how to, maintain the pepper, how to eat the pepper, how to, maybe they are porridging and all those, they will now contact the eatery and say, look, can you support our members of staff on how to eat this rice? And then they can say, okay, look, we will charge you 100 naira per person per year to be able to support you. That's now how they make the money, but the product itself is free. Please don't forget as well that each of these products and these companies, they have designed these products towards a certain target audience. Mr. Biggs they have their own audience. If Mama Basira, for example, a woman who sells by the roadside, wants to put out her own rice, obviously she might be targeting the guys on the streets and the mechanic workshops and the rest of them. She obviously is not trying to put out some classy type of rice. She just wants to fry some stew and some beef and whatever and put it out. So she has her own target audience. So everybody knows, but the president of Ghana cannot be coming to Nigeria and you will serve him Mama Basira's rice. And why is that? They will most likely serve him the Mr. Biggs rice because that's like an enterprise type of rice. With that rice, your risk is low. They have refined the rice, they have removed all the bugs, and they have made it enterprise ready. Even if the Ghanaian president loves the type of Mama Basira rice, we won't serve him that because they don't want any surprises. So this is a general idea of what open source is all about. And talking about open source in the world of Linux, Linux was invented in the year 1991 by a guy called Linus Torvald. Linus Torvald is a Finnish man. He's from Finland. He wrote this operating system and then he put it up in a public group chat saying, look, I wrote this operating system, 90-something% done. You guys get your hands on it and try it out and see whatever you can make out of this operating system. That gave birth to open source. So some people began to use this operating system. Some other people took the scientific Linux and they began to make new things out of it, which is the reason why we now have different flavors of Linux, which in the world of IT we refer to as distributions of Linux. Off the top of my head, I could tell you a few of them. Ubuntu is one of them. Ubuntu is a South African company that came into existence when they were trying to, help people transition from the GUI world to the command line world. So Ubuntu had both sides at the time, and then it gives you some, some safety nets to fall onto when you're using Ubuntu. You obviously know Red Hat. Red Hat is a high-performing, rock-solid Linux operating system for the enterprises that just works. There are other ones, millions and millions of them. We have CentOS, which is an environment, an open source environment that Red Hat sponsors. Fedora as well. We have Kali, which is a 100% offensive operating system. They use it for hacking and penetration testing. There's Ubuntu, which is the operating system that Google uses on their desktop. They have only modified Ubuntu and they have now named it Ubuntu. So another great example you should know is the Oracle Linux. Oracle has just found out that Red Hat was working better with their databases and their products. So they took the Red Hat kernel and they just renamed it as Oracle Linux. They have one other distribution called Oracle Unbreakable. They have just taken the Red Hat kernel and they have customized it even deeper towards Oracle products. So I hope I've been able to give you a general understanding of what open source is, and then when you walk into class, we'll be able to take off from a certain level. Thank you very much for watching, and there will be a description below for you to ask questions.